I made a mistake. Because it turns out that Season 3 of Miraculous Ladybug actually had 2 TV movies. Not just one. I thought it was just New York, and that was it. Nope, turned out I missed one. And it's a pretty big one because it's the one that actually bridges the gap between Seasons 2 and 3. Whoops. Well, all we can really do now is crowbar it in here as the second to last review of this marathon. That way we are all caught up to talk about Season 5 next year. So, without further ado or delay, let's make up for lost time and fix one of my biggest errors of recent memory. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station. And what's stop this is for anything and everything animation, including superheroes, flying crime on the other side of the world, as well as TV and movies. I'm your host, Jackson Small. I screwed that up. That's so bad. I'm so sorry. Let's talk about another Miraculous TV movie. This one being Miraculous World Shanghai, The Legend of LadyDragon. Now, I knew about the special's existence, yes, but I thought it was a special that took place in the season we're currently covering, Season 4. Turns out, doing research, I was incorrect. This is actually from Season 3. So, yeah, a big goof up on my part, but regardless, I finally watched it today, along with the finale of Season 4, which you'll be getting next. And I gotta say, from what I've seen so far, this might be my favorite of these specials. This is a fantastic watch, guys. Like, this one is great. It takes all the trappings and pitfalls that New York fell into, fixes them, avoids falling into any pitfalls whatsoever, and actually is mostly really, really good. This one's great even. Now, does that mean it's perfect? No, there's still some problems. Marinette being a creepy stalker being one of them. I'm sorry, it's getting tired. But, jokes aside, what are my actual thoughts on this TV movie? Well, I promise you I will keep it spoiler-free, like I do with all my other movie reviews, because yeah, this technically counts as a movie. It's pretty much feature length. It's like 55, 56 minutes, which is pretty much an hour, including commercials and everything else. So, yeah, it's a TV movie. So, without further ado or delay, here is my written review for Legend of LadyDragon, and why you need to check it out if you haven't seen it already. Enjoy. So, it turns out that Season 3 of Miraculous actually had 2 TV movies instead of 1, and I forgot to review this one last year along with New York. Whoops. Oh well, let's just crowbar it into this marathon anyway so we can be all caught up for next year's. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect from this one, but my hopes were that it wouldn't repeat the same issues as New York did at the very least. Don't get me wrong, New York was really good, but it had some big problems. And wow, not only did it not fall into that same trap, but it surpassed New York by a pretty big margin. This is a fantastic special. Pros, LadyDragon is amazing. Her design, her character, her powers, amazing. They absolutely nailed that part. Not to mention finding out Prestigious is actually a lot more powerful and better than a Miraculous. Makes me wonder why there aren't more Prestigiouses instead of Miraculous, but then I guess we wouldn't have a show. Action is excellent, especially in the third act, even though it has its own problem, and we're going to talk about it. Story's solid. It does have its conveniences and a few moments of blatant plot armor, but it's not to the point of being cringe. The voice acting is really good and surprisingly a bit deeper than usual. I don't know, maybe it was just the version I was watching, but the English dub voices were a lot more deeper toned than it is in the normal show. It's weird. It gave me Frontiers vibes. Not gonna lie. World building's incredible. This one's big focus is its world building, not only by having Marinette go to Shanghai, but also by giving Faye this backstory, one of the darkest backstories in Miraculous, as well as getting to meet another member of Marinette's descended family, this one being her uncle, who turns out to be, Uncle Wang, who is an absolute sweetheart of a guy. Seriously, amazing character. Absolutely loved hanging around with him. But, point is, world building in this one's incredible. Like, it truly expands the world of Miraculous out very well. Hawkmoth's plan is decent. Yes, I'm calling him Hawkmoth, because since this takes place before Season 4, he's not Shadowmoth. I know, very confusing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to review these out of order. I just forgot about this one. So, that's my bad. But yeah, Hawkmoth has a decent plan here. I'm not really going to say what it is because it's a giant spoiler, but I will say that it is a decent plan. He's not being a smooth brain for once. Well, until the end, when he pulls something really, really dumb. But that's just in character for Gabe. You know, Gabe being a smooth brain, that's just part of his character. The darker tone was a refreshing change of pace. Like, this one has a pretty dark tone. Like, I don't think it's as dark as New York was, because New York's tone was, whoa, it was dark at some points. But here, it is still pretty dark. Like, I already mentioned the backstory of Faye, but I mean, like, her character and why she even interacts and runs into Marinette in the first place, to how everything transpires. Like, it is dark. And if you know me, I give cartoons a lot of credit when they're able to do something dark and ballsy and not be cringe. I know, it sounds simple, but trust me, it's a lot harder to execute correctly than it sounds. Check out my review of Keelan if you want more information on that one. A few moments were shocking, but brief. I will admit some of the shocking moments didn't last very long, but it was still pretty shocking what happens. Runtime is good at only 55 minutes. I'm not going to say it's perfect because that's going to play into my cons, but runtime is good. It's not like too long or drags or anything. Rewatchability's high. I can easily see myself rewatching this anytime. And the ending is adorable. I'm not going to say why, but it is just adorable. However, like I said, it's not perfect. There are still some problems. A rushed finale. I may love the final battle, but it is rushed and it ruins the pacing. Some strange writing choices. I already mentioned there are some moments of blatant plot armor or just outright inconvenience. The pacing being a tad inconsistent, mainly again because they had to rush the final act, which sucks. Cat Noir getting shafted again. I know this takes place before that big arc became a thing in Season 4, but it's still annoying every time he gets the shaft when he's literally on the front of the freaking posters. Like, come on. And the second act with Marinette being dragged around Shanghai by Faye, going on just a little too long. Not to the point of dragging, per se, but to the point of maybe just taking too much time. Overall, though, this is a more than worthy addition to the legacy. Miraculous World Shanghai, The Legend of LadyDragon is a superb special that puts more focus on the world building and the characters, along with a great darker tone and some brilliant, wonderful storytelling. Sure, it's not perfect, but its fire burns bright nevertheless. Final verdict for this special is an 8 out of 10. Really enjoy it. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Well, that's it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we've only got one review left. And it's going to be a pretty big one because there's a lot to talk about in it. So, I'll see you guys next time for our Miraculous March 4 finale, Risk and Strike Back, also known as Shadowmoth's Final Attack.
Deciding for what comes up ahead. Hey, Shenron.